I know people are not going to like this, or some people are not going to like this, but I did not like what they did with You Season 4 Part 2. Let me just talk about the whole thing entirely. Part 1. I liked Part 1 because it gave back our mild mannered Joe Goldberg, who's trying to figure out what's going on, right? I related with him, in the you thing. Like, I related Nai because it's like things were happening to him. It was out of his control. He was just trying to string together these things. Like, I'm just trying to live a normal life. And I love that. They gave us this brightness that we had back in season 1 when we were all rooting for Joe Goldberg. And in season 1, we were all rooting for him. And season 1, I believe 90% of the viewers were like, Joe is a good man. Joe's a good man. He's a good man, that one. Joe is a good man. And then, he just got dealt a bad hand. Pana back papa. That's what we got per part 1. Just a bright thing. And the story was engaging. It was jogging around. It move at a very nice pace. He's trying to figure it out. He's getting help from Nadia. And he's going around and we're thinking, who is this? It's the rich killer. And what? When the part 1 ends now, I hold you guys to high regard. I'm thinking Makaona part 1. When the part 1 ends and we get the reveal that it was Reese all along. That was a brief musical interlude there. But yeah, so we get that it was Reese. And I'm thinking, okay, this is pretty cool. We've got someone who's on par with Joe. That's cool. Then part 2 happens. Like part 1, I'm like, how is Joe going to fix this mess? How is Joe going to navigate this? Because this guy is manipulating Joe and making Joe do these things for him, and Joe does not have any control over the situation. He either does this or he gets outed. And I'm in there and I'm sympathizing with my friend JG. Then part 2 happens now. The shift of the demeanor of the series really just came out of nowhere. It came from bright and fun thing. It came from Thor Love and Thunder to Joker, like a dark thing. It became so dark, and it was something that was inevitable. If you ask me, it was inevitable that Joe would have a mental break, and giving us a peek into his mental state. Like, you can't kill all those people and remain stable. It can't happen. And most people are like, I didn't have a problem with it, but most people have a problem with the fact that Joe got away with everything. Like, come from season 1 to season 3 or whatever, Joe is like, he's so lucky. He gets away with so much. So now I'm thinking, okay, let's see what happens. So the change, the sudden shift in the tone of the series to come from bright and relate with Joe to become Joe is really just a psychopath. And the series was carried by Reese. For me, I loved the dynamic. He is talking to his alter ego, sort of, that he refuses to acknowledge is there, because he makes excuses. I'm doing this for love. I'm doing this for what. But because now it's there, and he's been doing all these things, and it's pretty much unaware of what's going on. Like, it's Reese the second, and then the next second it's like, what is going on? And I love that. But what I did not like, or maybe I liked it, but anyways, it changed its status from a love thing, because now when Joe is less motivated by passion and love, we're left to face the reality that Joe is an actual psychopath, and we all want to ignore that. We want to like put a flower pot up its bumhole and be like, wow, a rose. But it's not like that, because they gave us a peek into him and we see him for what he truly is. Because once Joe starts killing, like, he's way too good at killing these people, and he has superpowers. Because you can't tell me Joe can build his glass dungeon anywhere. Like that guy, Bob the Builder, that one. He builds his glass dungeon anywhere he chooses. He's just like, you know what, guy? Right there, yeah. You see? He's talking to his real estate agent. Right there, right? Yeah. Okay, we put the glass dungeon here. Then we, I'll take them down this way. Electricity is always going to be available here, because you don't need to pay electricity bills for it to stay on. And I'm just looking at it, I'm like, okay, Joe, all right. The series was never rooted in reality. If we really talk truths, it was never rooted in reality. And this season, or it is the part 2 really just showed us how imaginative these creators can be. Like it, season 1, of course, it wasn't like it could be real, but it wasn't like it's real, but it could be real. You could jerk off at a doorstep watching a girl who never closes her window, her curtains, and then you're jerking off 1 second, and then the next second you're helping a grandma down the street. That's perfectly normal. No, I said that with a straight face, but it's not normal. But anyways, this season, this part 2, it really just gives us. It's so fictional, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm conflicted. I liked it. I didn't like it. But what I can say is that it shifts the status of the series. It comes from the brightness, the fun thing, and becomes so dark because we see Joe confronting his psychology, his psyche, and he starts doing some of these things, and you can see that okay, we've established that Joe doesn't kill because he loves. He kills because he wants to, and I feel like that was the agenda of this series. I don't know where they're going to take it, but it's taken away the joy that I had from watching this series. It's taken it away because I always held hope for JG, for Joe Goldberg. Kuti, he's a little justified in what he's doing, and then this season just came and swooped that out from under my feet. Kungora thought, no, Joe really is just Joe. So yeah, but it is worth a watch. I will say that. I mean, I don't think I helped, but don't be surprised if you watch it and the tone feels different. We come to this this janky, and like I got distracted at some point and I'm thinking just catch him already, but then because it's Joe, you know what's going to happen. So yeah, tell me what you thought. You season 4 part 2 or part 1. Did you enjoy it? Did you love it? What was your thoughts? What was your favorite part? I love Reese, but I won't say much about Reese. Rise, whatever. He's British. So yeah, that's me, Sage, and that was you. That was you season 4 part 1 and 2.